Hello everyone, thank you for coming tonight. I would like to start by saying thank you to Foolproof for hosting the event, as well as Design Lab for giving me the opportunity to talk about my work today. A special thank you as well for Daryl, my head of product, Emily, our intern, and Natalie, my mentor, who works at Citymapper, free advertising, for giving me a hand for my talk tonight. And final thank you for my friends and colleagues who came tonight to support me, or just enjoy free food and booze, I don't know. So my name is Loren. I'm a UX UI designer at Flair Football. And I start my talk by telling you a bit more about my background. So I have a master in graphic design and art direction. I graduated in 2011, and in 2008 I started as well. I started my own company. It was industrial design, a company called Stimpy. It was a great experience for 7 years. Then I sold my company and I decided to move to London to improve my English, not my accent, obviously. And then I worked as a freelancer for a while. It was great, but I felt a bit lonely and I wanted to work in new technologies, so I heard about UX, and after some research I just decided to do the 10 weeks immersive courses at GA. And later on, I started to work for Flair. So here's the content. I'm going to tell you a bit more about Flair, about what is Gen Z, and as well our 4 big topic I want to tackle, and then a little wrap up. So this is Flair. Our mission is to make every young football player feel like a star. And this is our team. So you have Emily, our current intern. She's great. And then our 3 co-founders. So Lee is our CTO, Daryl, our head of product, and me, our CEO. Sorry, there is 2 mics actually, so sometimes there is like that sound. Then you have Natalie, who is our new head of content, new joiner. Alex, our full stack developer, and George, who works remotely, and anyway he hates photos, so here we are. I have my cheat sheets as well, so to remember to breathe so I'm not dying. So what is Flair? It's an app for young football player, and you have a few features, like sharing your football journey by creating your match report after a match, and then you update your stats. You can as well build your player profile or follow the seasons of your friends, teammates, and opponents. So here we are. This is like all the generation since 1880. So as you can see, Gen Z is a demographic cohort after the millennials. It's the first generation to have a widespread access to the internet at an early age. Sorry. Just out of interest, sorry guys, how many millennials is there tonight? Can you raise your hands? Well, okay. Let's start with the beginning. Any baby boomers? No? Okay. Gen Z maybe? Yeah, well. Oh, wow, 3. Not bad. Hope you will agree with me later on. So tonight I'm gonna just, I really like this demographic to end up with that, because as you can see there is like fuzzy edges on the black lines, so it illustrates well the lack of consensus regarding the exact dates of each generation. So it's just tonight I'm gonna just talk you about our main audience, which is 10 and 18 years old. Let's carry on. So there are some trends that we spotted at Flair, and you can find them as well online. This generation, they just love to communicate, connect with each other, and they use a lot of pictures and videos for that. So for example, like Snapchat, Instagram, etc. As well, they love creativity. They are heavy filter users. So for example, you can see like that on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Bitmoji and stuff like that. So we organize a few games on our Insta accounts, on our stories. So maybe somebody wanna give it a go. So this is one of our emoji game. It's related to football, obviously, and it's a two-word phrase. Sorry. So somebody wanna try to guess what it means? It's a tough one. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint. The two first emoji are actually one word.
Free kicks.
Yep, well done. Congratulations. Cool. There will be another one, no worries. Cool. Yeah, and they as well they value a lot authenticity and proximity. So for example, we try to stay in touch a lot with them directly. So we organized, for example, that Insta takeover with one of our user, Eddie. He actually won the challenge. So he could like use our Insta for 24 hours, creating videos and pictures and like talk about his football journey. We organized as well another event in Sky Sports, and then we try to organize sometimes every summer football challenges. So yeah, it works quite well. So now we can start with the first topic I want to tackle tonight, which is research and testing with Gen Z. So obviously, when you're in startup like us, we have like limited budget and resources. So it's very hard to find participants. Our main way to do research right now is to use Instagram because it's used massively by Gen Z. We organize some, so we create some polls on Insta, and then we DM the kids who just respond to the polls, and this is how we can interact with them. So for example, this is a recent one we done about their holidays, because we are going to start our summer football challenges, so yeah, it was very useful. And as well, we use our Insta account to reach out with our users to make them come to the office and do some face-to-face testing. But again, even if we have quite kind of a lot of followers already, it's very tough because you need to have like, the parents and the kids trust, so they can come to you. It's never easy. Yeah, Guerrilla usability testing. So just forget about it. Trust me. You really don't want to approach random kids in a park, asking them to answer some questions in exchange for candy, right? So this is it. Yeah, the last one is about so reaching users at the right time for them. So obviously they are going to school. So after, you can reach them after 4, during weekdays, during weekends, and as well during half term. You have as well to take into account their parents' schedule. So as you can see here, one of our users and his dad at the back. This is as well can create some issues because kids tend to be more relaxed because their parents are around, but at the same time it can bias their answers because, well, their parents are around. Yeah. So the second part, for the second big topic I want to tackle tonight is design. So yeah, you were talking about, I'm talking about kids between 10 and 18 years old, so they probably don't have a LinkedIn account. Sorry. Yeah, they just, sorry. They just don't have Facebook as well. And then you can as well forget all the banking apps and stuff like that. Yeah, that mic is very terrible. Yeah, then they use all devices. So they usually use their parents' old phones. For example, Emily, who is here tonight, our intern, she has an iPhone SE, which is the size of an iPhone 5. So when I design for Gen Z, I just do all my mockups for an iPhone 5, as you can see here. So it can look a bit like not great on bigger screen. I know that for iOS 13, Apple is dropping support for devices older than 6S, but there's still lots of them are using those devices right now. Yeah, let's go for the next point. So as you can see here, you need to be careful of the copywriting as well, because you are obviously talking to kids. So try to keep it very colloquial with short and simple words. And if you can as well, adapt your copywriting to your industry. So as you can see here, it's the input for later on create your match report on the app. And we try to play it cool, like grab any assists, to bag any goals, to make them like smile and feel comfortable and speak the same language. Try to be kid friendly basically. As well, one of our problem at Flair is the age gap, because our target is 10 and from 10 to 18 years old. So it's a big gap, especially at that age. So they have obviously different tests regarding design. So we try to target 14, 15 years old, because it's kind of a good balance. It's not too, it can fit like the very young ones, and it's not too kiddie as well. But what is funny is, as you can see on the picture here, last year we rebranded, and I created a few mood boards with different concepts. And we tested it with kids from 10, 13, 15, and 18 years old. And we realized that a lot of them, almost all of them, found some like unity around the idea of community, because it works well in the football industry. So sometimes you can just have nice surprises, I guess. My next point then is about security and interaction for Gen Z. So you have to keep in mind that they are extremely aware of the danger of the internet, which is great, right? Because they need to be careful, way more than millennials. But at the same time, they tend to lie sometimes on their personal details. So yeah, it's better to. So for example, here we have a suggested follower feature. The first version was the algorithm was based on their age, their team, and their club, which means when a kid was signing up and not not adding their team and club and was lying on their age, then the suggested follower was completely irrelevant. So we had to tweak that a little bit, and now we try to nudge them to add those very important information first before displaying suggested followers. So mainly we added school as well, but club, team, and later on, soon their leagues as well. There is another thing as well, so this one is a funny one. We are at Flair very concerned about their safety, and while we were on beta, we used to monitor ourselves. But when we launched, we had to basically create a filter, right, to be careful that the kids are not using bad words when they publish their caption or statuses. So the dev team came with a big list of banned words they found online, like 2,000 words or something. So it worked really well, which means every time a kid wanted to write a bad word, he couldn't just publish it. He had a sentence saying, keep it clean, Flair is for everyone. Fair enough. And then that girl came to us. We don't have a DM on our app right now, so she just reached out on our Insta. And she said, well, I can't publish my caption, I don't know why. And it took our CEO nearly half an hour to guess what was the issue. And actually she wrote, won a few frees and played some nice balls. Which is a bit silly for a football app, right? So sometimes you have good surprises, I guess. Another one. They love to create constant engagement with, we need to create constant engagement with that specific generation. So here is a Hangman we did as well on the app. Somebody wants to give it a go?
Offside flag?
Yes. Wow, well done. I'm impressed. Fair enough. Yeah. Then the last topic I want to talk about tonight is football and Gen Z. So So here is just the learnings that applies to our business in particular, right? But I thought that it was interesting to talk to you about that. So one important thing that that is for us is the weather, because our app is based on like real life activity. So for example, if the weather is like, if it's too snowy or too rainy and then the match is cancelled, which means kids doesn't have any match reports to post, as well as their mates, right? So there is like less chance that they go on the app, and because they don't have anything to see or to publish. There is another issue as well, is when you do testing, for example, if it's very cold, because they can, with frozen fingers, it's harder to like click on buttons, I guess. And as well with extreme weather, it can reduce their attention span. Another thing that actually made us create one of our biggest features is the fact that that specific audience doesn't have any content to publish, because when you play football, you don't always have your parents on the sideline, to just take a picture of you, or just at the right moment when you just score a goal, So it was very frustrating for them, because as I told you before, that generation loves to communicate with pictures and videos. So we decided to come with this idea of match reports, which means they add the data of their past match. We have as well added some more. This is a version number 2. So now they can even talk about their feelings about their own performance or their team performance. So they add everything in the input, and then it creates a picture that they can either as well publish on the feed or just on other social media. And then to finish, so this specific audience for us is using the app, especially during weekends, because this is when they play football, right? So you have to be careful that your app is seasonal, and you can have an increase of the growth during weekends, but then during weekdays it's more calm, as well as during half term. So it can have an influence as well on your push notifications, and just when we were on beta, we tried to record all those behaviors. So the year after, we were able to just map out the different their behavior in general, that's roughly it. So you don't know it yet, but I'm a star. This is actually some of our users who recognized me last year on the Brookhouse FC tournament, so I was very, very proud. To wrap up, so it's hard to find key participants. Gen Z create their own conventions, and they care about their privacy as well. So in short, be honest, be creative, be an emotional sponge, be like Bob. Thank you.